Alright guys, Ronaldo here and welcome. Today I want to go over all of these summoning banners that we have now coming up on the weekend and also what's coming in the future, right? Should you summon, should you not summon, which people should summon and which people should wait. So let's get right into it. I have a few different takes that I want to go over with here. So first up we have the 1+1 amazing banner. We have the 2x. All of my friends hate the 2x, and then we have the special divine. So basically, people that have been starting during the first anniversary, there's quite a few new people in there. Khamet is one of the best heroes in terms of progression. Try grab yourself a Khamet, okay? On top of that, if you're early game, you cannot really afford to not pull on one weekend. You kind of want to pull on every weekend. So just pull on the 1+1. Once you get there, you go and then you can go for the 2 times as well. Make sure you can get to pity on 1+1 to ensure that you get something from there. But here's the kicker. Most people really want to save up some summons, and even if you're a bit of an earlier player, you might as well want to save up a few, you know, just summon, but don't summon everything. Reason being, Lost is most likely coming within the next few months, 2 months back, which is the best limited hero so far in the game. Of course not the best hero, but the best exclusive hero. What does exclusive mean for the people that don't know? It is basically a if you pull 250 times you are guaranteed to get her, and she will be on that banner, and after that banner is gone she's not going to be in the summoning pool, right? And you want to have enough summons for that. And that is also something to consider for everyone else. So in terms of the 1+1 and in terms of the 2x, I'd say if you are close to pity, go for the 1+1 even if you don't have a Lust, right? If you're close to pity, just go for the 1+1, because then you can just make such a good use of that pity with the double legendary you get from there. And then afterwards save up, right? If you're far from pity and you don't have a Lust, then it is kind of a thing of what should you do, right? Then again, I would wait for Lust if you are an end game player and have most of the heroes. If you are still in the middle of progression and you're still building up your roster, like I said earlier, you kind of want to summon more or less every weekend. Just summon and summon and summon. That's the name of the game. Then I would recommend still going for it. But if you are later and you just need specific heroes, right, then I would wait. I would just skip it completely, as hard as it sounds. Now, this is something different. This is for a, I don't know what the name, Junggesellenabschied, from a friend that's gonna marry. I'm planning not the hangover, but the thing that they do in the hangover trip, you know, before you marry. But basically, there's a few heroes that you always want to get on your account, right? There's a quite and then last we have Arrogance, Hatsut, Khamet. These are kind of very strong heroes that you kind of want to get eventually. I still don't have a Hatsut and I'm progressing fine, but so you don't need everyone, right? But these are kind of the heroes that you want to look out for. And now that we know that Lust is coming, she's a big thing, big factor, right? But the thing is, there's many people now, ever since that Destined video, and man, I've seen so many, even in the streams, people say, oh yeah, I'm gonna save up for A5 Lust. Man, Destined said he's gonna save for himself. He didn't mean that everyone should save up for A5 Lust. There's a very specific difference that you need to notice here, because Destined gets thousands of diamonds, just like me, gets thousands of diamonds, right? And then we can go for something like that. But you don't, from content creator rewards. It is just, it is whale territory. Going for an A5 on a hero is just whale territory. It is far from the truth. It is far from reality. And I personally, even with my diamonds from content creator wars, even I won't go for A5 Lust, right? I have her. I'm not gonna go for A5 Lust. Even with my content creator rewards, I'm not gonna go for it, because it would just be, I don't know, I just don't need it. I just don't need it. It's nice if you want to go crazy with it, right? If you want her to be absolutely cracked out, But if you're not a whale, you're not going for any hero at a5. You're never gonna get them a5. You know how many summons that are? a5, that's 6 lusts, guys. 6 times to get a lust. You're not guaranteed every legendary to get a lust. That's thousands of pulls. Who's gonna have thousands of pulls? Come on. Don't, if you have a lust and you're not a whale, be happy with your lust the way she is, but don't bother thinking about her a5. Like, first get all of the other stepping stones. Then in terms of this one, right, I think there's a few things that you have to consider here, right? So we have the special divines and we have crazy divines. Now divines genuinely have such low rates. They are just very low rates, which is why most people want to pull divines on 2x. And the thing is, if you're closer to pity on the divines, if you're over 20 divines in, right, you have chances to get Khamet and Edith. Now Edith used to be very strong for Gear Dungeon 2. She's still very good for Gear Dungeon 2. But you have to consider you can use a Borut. And if you have a Khamet and you just want Edith, I would not recommend go for that. Because you can make it work with a Borut, right? Or even with a Carnelian. So the thing is, if you have a Eloin though, it gets a lot easier with the Borut if you have a Eloin. If you don't have a Eloin, you use Hollow instead of Eloin, or then Edith helps you out. Or even if you have a Leia, you don't need the Edith either. So there's that about Edith, right? I think, so yeah, I made the guide on you don't need Edith for stage 10. And then we have Khamet. Now Khamet is very potent, especially for Gear Dungeon 1. It's kind of, the gear requirements are exceptionally high, the DPS requirements, and Khamet gets the job done for it. He is how I beat it. I think if you have a Demi, you don't really need him. If you don't have a Demi, it starts to get very hard to clear it without the Khamet. Stage 9 is very doable, but with stage 10, Khamet is very strong. But just from stage 9 to 10 is nice to have, but it's not a necessity. Yet, even though it is not a necessity, yet I would still actually say if you don't have a Khamet, you should be fine going for the divines, because more often than not, divines are literally, they are a scam, man. You're not gonna get much out of them anyways most of the times. So if you can get your chances to get a Khamet, make use of it. You're not gonna lose out on something, right? It's not the same banner as the Lust, right? You can spend all of your divines here and your Lust is still gonna come from her normal banner. So there's no problem in this regard. So if you want to get your hands on a Khamet, I think it's a good chance. This is how I got my Eloin during the divines. So half a year ago on her banner, where I said it's a crazy banner you should pull, and people were like, no, it's just Eloin, a healer, and an eye. Well, this aged like a good wine, didn't it, this statement I did back then. But so yeah, I think divines, you're most of the time, like, you can just throw them out of the window most of the time anyways, because you're not gonna get shit. So if you can get your hands on a Khamet through that, that's a nice stuff. I think you can go for it. If you just want Edith, I would recommend you not going for that, as I believe Edith is replaceable, right? If you have a Leia or Eloin, Borut gets the job done easily. If you have a strong Hollow, Borut gets the job done. If you have Ardea, Borut gets the job done easily. If you have a Carnelian, you don't need either. As you can see, there's many avenues for Gear Dungeon 2, and I think that's already kind of it that I wanted to go over it with. I went a bit hard on the rant on the A5 Lust. I just don't want people to skip certain heroes that they don't have just to get their hands on an A5 Lust. I think it's not realistic for 99% of the players to try to go for an A5 Lust, and me included. So yeah, there's that. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Ronaldo, and I'm out. Peace.